Hello, and welcome to the Resilient Leader's Journey, a podcast where we navigate challenging currents of growth and change. If you are a regular listener, please subscribe. Click on that button so that way you can get these broadcasts every time they come out, hot and fresh for you. Today, my guest from New Orleans, Louisiana, is Katie Jensen. She is the CEO of Triton Stone Group. She is a graduate of the University of North Carolina. Go Tar Heels.
Tar Heels.
Katie, how are you today?
Oh, I'm amazing, Trent. Thanks so much for having me.
I am thrilled to have you. The most pressing question I have on my mind is, how much do you hate Duke basketball?
They're terrible. They're
horrible, right?
horrible. I mean, every year, bane of my existence. It's just bred in you as soon as you step foot on that campus in Chapel Hill.
And you have to see him twice a year, playing
We
twice a
do.
year.
Yeah.
Have you ever been one of those people that painted your face when you went against Duke?
Okay, I don't know if we painted faces, but I definitely attended the games and my senior year, we ended up winning the national championship. So I got to watch UNC beat Duke 3 times.
Oh, mercy. That must have
It
been
was
heaven of
epic.
honor for you.
Yes, it was epic.
How wonderful. Maybe you can tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about Triton Stone Group.
Yeah, so Triton Stone Group, we are an importer and distributor of natural stone, tile. We also sell a whole line of sinks and tools. So we opened up in New Orleans. Actually, we're celebrating our 20-year anniversary this year. So pretty amazing when we look back to where we started and where we are now. Very blessed with the team and just being able to navigate through so many challenges. But yeah, we're a wholesaler, importer, and distributor.
Wonderful. How many locations, how many states do you operate in?
So we have 30 locations across 17 states. We have 26 showroom locations where customers come into our warehouse and they're able to view the granite and marble slabs. And then we have 5 distribution centers and 2 smaller locations where we primarily sell sinks and tools.
Wonderful. And how many employees do you have, full-time employees?
Right over 340.
Whoa, okay. You're hiring almost a whole town, it feels like.
I know. Sometimes it does feel like that.
So how did you go from North Carolina to running a stone business?
So my family's background in New Orleans is in logistics and transportation. And actually I graduated from UNC and I was working up for Maersk Shipping up in New Jersey. And Hurricane Katrina happened back in 2005. And I really was not a northern girl, right? Southern born and bred. So it's pretty terrible up there. So after Katrina, my family was looking to get into, other businesses to, be a part of the rebuilding of the city. And our trucking company was actually moving containers of granite. And we were able to connect with the company, the individuals doing granite importing. And we ended up opening up a location in New Orleans in 2006.
Very interesting. So you leveraged your family's trucking business to help start in the location. You already had your distribution taken care of.
Absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, I like to tell people we really are a logistics company. I mean, we happen to move very large pieces of rock around the country, but our job is to get it to the end user at the best price, right? In the safest way. So that logistics background has been very instrumental in our success.
It's interesting that you say it that way. So Ray Koch, that would have been what's considered the founder of McDonald's as we would know it, had asked a class at Northwestern, what industry he was in. And do you know the answer to this question, right?
Yeah, real estate, right?
Real estate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And where all the students are thinking milkshakes and
coffee, right?
Coffee. how one automatically leads into another. You can leverage one into the other. And so that's wonderful how you've done that. So how fast has your business grown over these 20 years? Is it incremental? Have you seen large jumps over the period?
So, I will say, so as I mentioned, we opened up a location in New Orleans, the first one. We started with 5 people. And it was initially started as a franchise. We were the third location to open, so we kind of were given the blueprint to run it, and then we really just executed on that. Because we opened up, in New Orleans, in the Gulf Coast. If you recall 2008, 9, 10, the housing crisis, it was
Sure.
a tough time. But that whole area in the Gulf Coast was really insulated. The entire area needed to be rebuilt. So in 4 years, we had opened up 4 locations. We had just kind of branched out, started the market, grew it, trained someone, and then sent them to run it. So we had quickly opened up Baton Rouge, Mobile, Alabama, and then we went into Texas, into San Antonio. So our mantra, we were very young, right? I was 23 years old when we started. We were very hungry. I like to tell people we were too naive to think we could fail. Why don't people want to buy stone from us, right?
It's
But
only the Great Recession you're trying to sell through, right?
exactly. But we focused on customer service and we focused on doing what we said we were going to do. And I think that stood out to a lot of our customers, that we were consistent and we were there to be partners with them and help them be successful. So then fast forward, in 10 years, 9 years. In 9 years, we had opened up 10 locations. And at that point, we were, getting to be pretty large. So in 2017, we ended up buying out the brand Triton, and we became the owner of Triton. And at that moment, we also bought 5 other locations that weren't under our ownership.
Sure.
So that was a really big jump in 2017. In terms of going from, 9 locations, buying 5, buying the brand. We actually also opened up 3 that year. So that was a big leap in
How do you,
2017.
how do you find differences in leadership between organic growth and inorganic growth?
Yeah, I think, the inorganic growth of buying other locations or acquisitions, I think, it's a challenge, right? I think culturally, as you organically grow, your team is culturally aligned. There's culture norms that you're used to. But then when you kind of acquire other outside entities, that integration is probably the biggest challenge I've ever faced as a leader.
And you would not be alone in saying that. And I say it quite often myself. I've bought a dozen companies myself. And I would say the easy work is right up until we sign the papers.
Exactly. Yeah, all the
Moving people
lawyers,
from under the
promotion,
easy
that's
work.
fine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Then comes the really hard work. And so what are some of the challenges you face with integration?
I think I mentioned cultural differences. Triton is, we're built by a team of very resilient, very competitive individuals, right? We like to win, we like to do the best, and we're very creative. Creativity is at the kind of the base of how we've been able to grow. I'm very much, I like to, I think my job is to inspire my team and inspire them to be creative in ways to get the job done, right? I don't ever want to tell someone to do something if there's a better way to do it and they can figure it out.
Sure.
So I think, that there's a positive and negative in that approach, because in some cases you need standardization and you need procedures, and that's important. But if on the other hand, if you can inspire that creativity, it allows people to achieve, really amazing things. So in some of our acquisitions of different companies, that kind of, I don't want to say like looser leadership, but they were used to more direction and more accountability perhaps than we were used to. So we kind of had to merge the two sides together
Sure.
to give them like direct clarity and purpose, and then also keep that kind of creativity and out of the box thinking, and like just figure it out, right? Like, we're not trying to make things difficult. If you can do, I don't want to tell you to do 10 things to accomplish something you can do 1 in. So it was definitely a balance on both sides.
Sure. So General Patton would have had this nice quote that would have said, if you want success, tell your people what you want them to do, but not how to do it.
Yeah, I would say that's 100%. Right? It's like, set expectations, give them parameters to achieve them, but then I want them to go and deliver the results.
Sure.
And I think, the individuals that kind of like understood that and that drove them to want to be better and achieve is the ones, that stayed with us and are now successful.
Right, right. When you're reviewing people, do you speak to them more about individual results or team results?
So we're very team focused. I'll be honest. I mean, our team has individual budgets, but a portion of everyone's comp is tied to the team's success. We really want everyone to feel like they are part of a team. It's another one of our core values: team together, everyone achieves more. And our business is so interconnected with the different entities and players and customers. So it's really important that everyone's working together and not siloed. So, I would say team success as a whole is very important.
Sure. One of the things I noticed is that you are very much a family-owned business. And if I look through, you've got CMOs and CFOs that all seem to be family members. How does that work? How does that dynamic work for you?
I mean, I feel that we are so blessed to be a family business. Like I mentioned, my father has a trucking company since I was born. And, just instilling in I have 6 siblings, so I'm one of 7. And he instilled in all of us like the value of working hard for your employees and their families and giving back. So, when we were able to open Triton, it was just kind of a logical step. It was like, okay, so, my brother-in-law started with me day one, and now he's our national sales manager. So, we were able to find, positions or jobs for people in our family, and you have something there that's trust. And I think that's something that's so invaluable. I mean, were there challenges? I mean, always, right? As you navigate through the different changes of the business, of people's personal lives, but overall I think there's nothing that can really come. I mean, I haven't known anything else either, but the fact that we are a family business and so much of Triton is we want them to be seen as part of the family, right? We want our team to feel that they're part of the Triton family, and that's been the biggest part of our success is our team, truly.
When you're in family cookouts, what percentage of the conversations about business and what percentage about kids' sports?
Okay, I'll be honest. At the beginning, it was terrible. It was like 90% 10, right? Business and not. But we're pretty good these days. It's like, look, we love each other, and when we want to hang out, we don't want to talk about work. So I would say we're pretty good these days.
I noticed that you're involved in the community of New Orleans, and it clearly means a lot to you to have the support of your community and to support them. I love how you support Rockfest and how on brand that seems. Maybe you can talk to us about that.
Yeah, so our annual, we host a Triton Rock Fest, which kind of ties in with the New Orleans, all the festivals that we have. Mm-hmm. But it's evolved into a very major industry event where we bring in our top customers across the country, suppliers fly in from around the world, and then we have our Triton team there. So it's kind of the only event of its kind is kind of like bringing all 3 segments of the industry together. So there's collaboration, there's some leadership development, and of course we have a lot of fun, right? A big important part of Triton is definitely having fun. So we definitely work hard and play hard.
Sure. It just seems really novel to put that together, and wonderful how you can bring suppliers and customers and your team you're all rooting for each other's success, correct?
That's right. I mean, the only way that we can succeed is if our customers succeed. And conversely, our suppliers succeed when we succeed. So it's really about focusing on partnerships and helping everyone see opportunities and how we can grow together, and a lot of collaboration, right? I mean, I think as the business and economy has evolved, I think everyone sees that they need to think outside the box. You can't continue to do things how you did them. I mean, even 2-3 years ago, right? Like, we need to do things differently, which means thinking outside the box.
Sure. Does the advent of AI here, have many changes coming for Triton?
So, I always like to think, like, what could put us out of business, right? I mean, there's one thing, a granite slab is 1,000 pounds. So I don't think Amazon is going to, come take our business model anytime soon. But absolutely, right? I mean, you have to be aware of the capabilities out there and how that can help you and your team evolve and change. We're actually integrating some AI into our CRM system to be able to kind of give our team more pushes than pulls, if that makes sense. So,
Yes.
reminders, how to go, you saw this customer 2 weeks ago, now go give them a call. So, integrating that, but our business is so customer facing that we 100% need our team. We need them in our showrooms helping customers. We need them out seeing customers. So, I don't see the impact there. It's more of a help that will help our team be more successful.
Wonderful. The predominance of your executive team are women. Is that a different challenge in what would be, I think, a more male dominant logistics industry?
So I don't think it's a challenge. I mean, I think it's a novelty. Like you said, definitely both logistics and also stone. It's a male dominated field. I think it gives Triton a very interesting perspective on things. We're able to pull lots of different perspectives. Also, that maybe other companies don't get when they don't have females on their leadership team.
Sure. I was just rereading Stephen King's The Stand, and at one point a woman said we should be writing letters that say, "Dear men, thank you for the railroads, and thank you for the bridges, and thank you for the tankers. We'll take it from here."
That's right. Well, I do feel like we're a bit more efficient, but hey, that's a personal opinion.
That's fine. That's right. You'll take it from here.
That's right.
Katie, in your mind, what makes an effective leader?
I think, being an effective leader is about being consistent. I think if your team can understand how you react to things, it helps them to prepare for situations better. I also think, consistency and being able to listen. I think listening as a leader is one of the most important things because honestly, I don't have all the answers at all, right? I mean, far from it. But if you can have really great people around you and listen and they feel that they are you are hearing them, I think that inspires them to want to continue to grow.
How do you teach your next level down or a couple levels down how to be better listeners?
I think leading by example, right? I think I would never ask someone to do something that I wouldn't be willing to do. Okay. So I think that's really what started our growth and success. I actually jumped on a forklift and unloaded our first slab, right? Because the guys were scared they would break it. So now that's kind of like in company lore.
Wait,
but
break the fork truck or break the slab?
They were scared they were going to break the slab. Okay. So, I took it off and I'm like, okay, if I can do it, you guys do it. Now unload the truck, right? But I think it's, not asking them to do something you wouldn't do. And then, if my job, I feel like, is to inspire and develop my team so they can inspire and develop their teams. And, obviously, as we've grown, we've had multiple organizational changes. We've had to have different, levels added. So I think it's just about aligning all those that really helps, the next level or the next upcoming team be able to achieve those results.
Sure. How do you prepare your strategic plan for how you want to improve your footprint, growth, profitability, employee development? How do you go through that strategic process?
Like I'd say specifically, we have a senior leadership meeting in the fall, and we, really all come together and, identify our biggest opportunities, which could also be weaknesses, like meaning we want to improve on them, and then kind of see of those opportunities, which ones do we have the bandwidth to accomplish for the following year. Sure. I think something that, really inspires our team about Triton is that we're always constantly wanting to improve. I don't think there's ever been a time that we've been like, okay, we're good. I mean, everyone can do better. So it's kind of that drive to always want to be like, well, how can we do better? How can we take more market share? How can we get our team more engaged, right? Reduce our turnover, whatever the challenge that we're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And my dad told me a long time ago, he was like, grow or die. So, okay, that might be a little aggressive, but The mantra is you always need to grow. So you can have these amazing individuals behind you who want to also grow.
Yeah, I that grow or die is rummaged through the back of my head a few times as well. What you're speaking about is intrinsic motivation. When you hire people, is that something you seek or you test for?
I mean, we don't test for, and that is something that we're actually looking for to do in 2026, to be honest. But I think we definitely have, specific questions that we ask when we're, interviewing people to bring them on board. If that's something that is motivating to them, or is that, are they more like steady and don't want uncomfortable, right? I mean, we embrace the uncomfortable, we embrace the different. And that's a certain quality. And when you can find that and channel it, really amazing results can happen.
I agree with you. By the way, I'm glad you put the modifier and channel it, right? Otherwise, I'm like a 10-year-old on Snickers, right? I'm
Right.
all over the
It's true.
fun. So how do you hold yourself accountable to maintain integrity and transparency?
I would say that, we are very transparent as an organization. I think, in dealing with a number of challenges, even since COVID, right? We had a lot of changes in the, in shipping, in the economy, and I mean, there were so many different things. And instead of kind of saying, like I had all the answers, it was like, no, everyone, let's get in the room, let's talk through it. What do we need to do? And just being really transparent. I mean, and even challenges with some financing sometimes, or whatever the case may be. I think that for me and for my team to see my integrity is for me to show them the transparency of like, this is what we're trying to tackle, this is how we're going to get there, and then they get behind you. Not telling people or your team what's going on, that's it plants a seed of doubt perhaps that they then question other things. So I think it's humbleness and transparency is really how you get your team behind you.
Sure, sure. What's one of the leading qualities or traits you look for when you're hiring people?
I would say resilience. 100%. I mean, I know that's the title of this as well, but I think it speaks so importantly to all the different challenges that we face right now, right? It's not just like, if you do X, Y, Z, you will achieve this. There's a lot more variables in there. And I would say curiosity, because we really want to, employ people, or we want to work with people who, like I said, want to think outside the box. They don't want to just do what's the norm. So I think those would be our two top qualities.
Wow, wonderful. What if one of your children decided to attend Duke? What would you say?
I'm not paying for it. I already told him that. I was like, look, the only school you go to in North Carolina is UNC.
That's right. The only one you're going to get, even Wake Forest doesn't get a pass.
Nope, sorry. And I'll pay for other colleges, but not Duke.
Not for Duke. Well, they have to earn scholarship. Listen, you want incentive, right?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Don't worry. They're all big Tar Heel fans. So
I can only imagine the Tar Heel blue all over the house. Right. It's not that you fans ever go out of your way to talk about it.
That's right.
I have one final question for you today, Katie. Who is your favorite fictional character?
Fictional character. Okay. All right. I'd have to say, I think I would say Mary Poppins.
How wonderful. Why would you choose that? Right, choose her.
So not like a few reasons, but I think she is very frank and direct, and that is definitely one of my qualities. Like, cut to the chase. Let's just figure it out, get it done. I think she leads with love and kindness, and love is truly at the base of who I am as a leader and as a family company. And she always finds a way to figure it out. We've found ourselves in some interesting situations over the past 20 years, and it always works out. So I think I would pick Mary Poppins.
Is it because you secretly want to float away on a cane? Umbrella?
Also, yes, for sure. Well, and there's one more reason too. So, I travel internationally a good bit. To go visit the quarries in Brazil and Italy. And everyone knows if they travel with me, they're only allowed to take a carry-on suitcase. You're not allowed to check. So the
Right.
joke is always like, your bag is like Mary Poppins' bag.
Right.
You just keep getting more things out of it. So that's
Well,
be me.
spit spot. That
That's
was
right.
wonderful, Katie. You are a magnificent guest. Katie Jensen from the Triton Stone Group. I'm so happy you joined us. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It was lovely.
And friends, resilient leaders face challenging currents, and it's tough navigating. But with one tack or another, we can get there together. Again, I hope you like and subscribe to our podcast. Get these hot, fresh ideas right from the person's mouth. Like Katie Jensen, thank you again for your time today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Trent.